Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Thursday. This is Game Day Live, coming to you live from the Primetime Radio studios here in beautiful New Jersey in the bunker. And Vinnie Parise coming to you live from Chicago, Illinois, and joining us remotely via technology, American Whiskey. As we're streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network as the Devils take on the Nashville Predators tonight at The Rock, 7 p.m. Eastern start. Vinny, how are you, my friend? We're on a big high right now. We've got the Devils beating the Rangers the other night. Then last night, for all you Catherine Bogart fans from the New Jersey Devils, she was on State of the Fan Address. We're on a high right now. Now we're heading into the month of December. Everything looks pretty good. But I want to know, how are you feeling, Vinny?
I'm feeling wonderful. The Devils beat the Rangers on Monday, and they beat them in a way that I think they needed to beat them, right? It was a game where they went down 0-2, and it was like, oh, here we go again. Even when the Devils are sick, they're going to lose to the Rangers, who have been very slightly above average so far this season, and then they come roaring all the way back. And they get back in this game, and they tie it up, and they end up with a lead thanks to our guy, Jack Hughes, one of the best players in the NHL at this point. I think it's fair to say and safe to say without, eventually looking like a fool for saying so. And they got that extra 2-goal lead. And then when Vinnie Trocheck scored to make it 4-3, it was like, okay, well, now the Devils, they're going to have to deal with this pressure that New York's about to put on them and handle it. And if they allow them to tie, you got to go win it in overtime. Hopefully you don't let them tie it. They ended up not letting them tie it. They won the game. And, man, it's been a fun stretch. This team has won, I want to say it's 17 out of the last 24 games, or something like that, or 17 out of the last 21 games. I mean, it has just been incredible what this team has done, and I've really enjoyed watching them so far this season. They're one of the most thrilling teams in the NHL. They're never out of a game. You go down 0-2 to the Rangers in the first 3 minutes and 1 second of the game. It's not over from there. Tatar and Nico make a great play to get them back within one rather quickly. And it's just a great time to be a Devils fan. You enter December with legitimate thought that by the time Christmas rolls around, you could start thinking about, like, okay, what Devils players are going to make the All-Star game? What players are going to be on the block at the trade deadline? They're certainly not going to be sellers. Are they going to be buyers? Are we at that point of the rebuild where they might buy a player to try and help them actually get into the playoffs? Because I think getting to the playoffs this year is very important rather than just worrying about winning the cup necessarily. And so that all that stuff is fun. I really enjoy being a part of it. And, man, doing these shows is a lot more fun when the team is actually really good. For some reason, I can't hear you, Sam.
Technical difficulties.
That happens.
Difficulties. Ugh. You know what? I gotta bitch a little bit. This board here has a mind of its own. That whoever invented automatic muting should be shot, because that drives me insane. It's not me that muted myself. It's the computer that muted me. So anyway, probably shouldn't have said that. But let's talk about the two Johns tonight. We got John Marino and John Hynes. Let's start with the bad. John Hynes, former coach of the New Jersey Devils, Nashville Predators coach. They're under, well, I guess they are NHL 500 right now, right? But to me, that's below 500. I think that's just a kind way to say that you're somewhat relevant. And spent many years with the Devils. I thought that Ray Shero held on to him too long. Cost both of their jobs, essentially. But he moved on. We all moved on. Now Lindy Ruff, just like John Hynes, was afforded the chance. And Lindy Ruff had a, rough start to his tenure, taking a young team through COVID right from the get-go. All of his meetings were virtual in the beginning with his team. You can't really do team bonding that way. COVID hits with the team, but That's all in the past right now. Now Lindy Ruff has got everybody running on all 4 cylinders. Now let's get to John Marino. Is he in the lineup, Vinny?
It is not 1,000,000% confirmed, but he is currently taking lineups as we speak, and he is expected to be in the lineup based on that. And we got a little breaking news. Miles Wood is out for undisclosed reasons. So it does sound like they're going to have to play John Marino and actually go 11-7 with Kevin Ball getting back into the lineup. So I think that is important to note when it comes to talking about John Marino. I do think he is going to play. They're going to do the 11-7. They don't really have another choice otherwise. With Nathan Bastian out, I assume that Alexander Holtz is also one of those players. And because Miles Woods, whatever the undisclosed reason is, happened so close to game time that they couldn't get anybody called up or anything like that, because I certainly think they would have called up a forward. And, we'll see what happens, how that ends up working out for them. But as far as John Hynes, the Devils did keep John Hynes for a little bit too long, but I wasn't on the fire Hynes wagon like everybody else. I wasn't for keeping him by any means. I never really tweet. I remember being in that time, like, should I tweet something? Should I write something for Pucks and Pitchforks? And I ended up just staying away from it completely, kind of like how I did with Lindy Ruff. I never tweeted a pro-Ruff or an anti-Ruff thing. I was never on either side. And I know you're a pro-Ruff guy. You were, even when things weren't looking all that great. I never tweeted anything pro or anti him because I kind of felt like the same thing with John Hynes. This roster stinks. Nico Hischier and Jack Hughes are 30-point players because they're 19. Jesper Bratt, 19, 6th-round pick. What are we expecting? There's no Kovalchuk here. There's no Zach Parise in his prime. It's not like those days. The team was awful. You had bad players getting quality minutes at the time, and Taylor Hall leaves, or he's about to leave. And what do you expect from John Hynes? He went to Nashville. The team was awesome last year. They were hard to play against, and they're hard to play against this year. They're struggling a little bit, but they're only 1 point out of a playoff spot. It's not like they're dead by any means. If you call them NHL 500, yeah, they are 10-9-2. If you make those 2 overtime losses into losses, yeah, they're 10-11. So, they're not great, but it's also like they've had some underperforming forwards, and Roman Josi and UC Saros are just now starting to get back to the level that they were at last year, which helped them so much. So I'm not anti-John Hynes, but I'm not pro-John Hynes either. I remember our friend John Buccigross, he was calling for John Hynes to be the coach of Team USA at the time of his hiring with the Devils. He's a highly regarded hockey mind, especially in terms of USA hockey. So I'm not going to sit here and poo-poo on John Hynes. It worked out for both of the Devils and the John Hynes camp that it moved on. He's with the Predators. The Devils have Lindy Ruff. Things started off poorly for Ruff. It's because he pretty much largely inherited the exact same problems that Hynes had with the Devils. And now Jack Hughes is a superstar. Nico Hischier is a superstar. Jesper Bratt's one of the most underrated players in the league. They're getting good goaltending from Vitek Vanacek. All of a sudden, people are like, sorry, Lindy. Wow, it's amazing what happens when a good coach is giving a good roster. It's almost like he's the third winningest coach in NHL history for a reason. But if you have a poop roster, no one, like Scotty Bowman in his prime of coaching, would have been bad with those Devils rosters. So I'm all for being kind to the coaches when the roster is clearly bad. We'll see what happens with these 2 meet up tonight.
Yeah, well, I got to tell you something, that right now it's Devils are in first place. I guess they're now tied with Boston right now. We're all happy returning the page, but now here comes the real challenge. The injuries are starting to pile up. You're going to get nagging injuries, but here's something different than previous years. Well, the Devils are not desperate to win right now. They can rest their players to get them healthier, even those little nagging injuries. They look how well they've done without Palat. They've got a lot of depth, the New Jersey Devils, and they've got a lot of young talent just waiting. Now Alexander Holtz doesn't have to wait in the press box. Kevin Ball doesn't have to wait in the press box. So with all those, with that, Vinny, I think it's just a different scenario right now. When you hear about these injuries, it's like, okay, let them rest. We'll be okay. We have padded the lead in the Metropolitan Division. You have some leeway there. I think that's what that's more about, because if it were the Devils teetering at 500, maybe these guys would play, you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it all depends on what the injury is. If it's like so bad where you are not helping the team have a chance to win, then I guess you probably wouldn't be playing. But maybe it wouldn't even been a question if they were in ninth place in the conference, out by one. If they were in Nashville's position, maybe where they're 1 point out of a playoff spot, might as well just go with the opponent. I mean, if the Devils win tonight, they will be 10 points clear of second place in the Metropolitan Division. Actually, if Carolina wins too, then the Devils will be 9 points clear of the division lead. But either way, they'll be anywhere from 8 to 10 points clear of the division lead, and that's just incredible on December 1st. If you get to that point in March, April, like when the playoffs are right around the corner, but if the Devils keep playing the way that they are, even if it comes down just a little bit and they're winning at a 700 clip instead of an 800 clip, you're still having 105, 106 points in the standings this season. And, that gets teams home ice in the first round, maybe even in the second, third round, possibly. Like, I'm not trying to, there's a lot of hockey left to play. And I think they can't take their foot on the gas. They're not the Bruins. Okay.
Yeah.
The Bruins have proven year after year after year. Bergeron's going to put an 82-game effort together where he's one of the top two-way forwards. We haven't seen that from Nico yet. We believe we will. We believe we will 10 times, hopefully. We've seen Pasternak and Marchand put up 100 points apiece. Pasta got close to 50 goals last time he was fully healthy in a full season. I think he had 48 and tied Ovechkin with the Rocket Richard Trophy, and Austin Matthews. We've seen McAvoy play well in the playoffs. I'd like to see that from Dougie Hamilton in a Bruins or a Devils jersey. Bruins have a little bit more equally shaky goaltending. We haven't seen Swayman and Allmark in the playoffs like we have Tuukka Rask in the past. He's gone, so that's an issue for the Bruins. But even the other teams in the playoffs that are dangerous, the Lightning. The Lightning right now are 13, 8-1, 27 points. They have 11 less points than the Devils. You more confident in the Devils than the Lightning in the playoffs? I'm not yet. So, I just think there's so much hockey left that every single player, if you're in the lineup, you are in there for a reason. You need to help, give your full effort, give this team a chance to win. I believe even when they go 11-7 like they're going to tonight, they will have that kind of effort because of the great coaching that Lindy Ruff has had so far this season.
Yeah. Also, I want to give a shout out to Anthony LaPena. Tori, did you turn 5 years old today? One of our young fans.
She was 4. So I think 5 comes next.
Yeah, well, I know that part, but is it today? I thought it was today. I don't know. Anthony's going to have
fellow December birthday. Okay.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday. Max says Saros is 5-0-1 against us.
That 0-1. I'll take that 0-1.
Yeah.
If they beat him in a shootout tonight, I'd love that.
You know what? That's in the past. We're talking about the New Jersey Devils' future is now. The future wasn't in the past. The future is now.
All 5 of those wins, they could have come when Adam Henrique led the Devils with 42 points, or Kyle Palmieri, great. I'm not pooping on Kyle Palmieri or Adam Henrique, but when a 40-point, 50-point guy is leading your team in scoring, you're probably not that good. So things are different now.
Yeah.
You usually have 40 points by New Year's Day.
Yeah. Yeah, is what Max says, the 2022-23 NJ Devils. Yeah, it's a new era right now. So if you want to get cocky, this is a good time to get cocky. If you want that swagger when you walk down the street with your Devils hat on, your jacket, your jersey, this is the time to be wearing it. The water cooler talk, that coworker at work that you despise, that's a Rangers fan, right? Well, guess what? It's a good time to talk a little trash. Maybe make a little bit of money. These bets, if you made a bet with your coworker, whether it's monetary or bragging rights or whatever, it's the time to bet on your New Jersey Devils. And speaking of bet, Vinnie, we got to go over predictions. And, somebody hosed you on predictions, I heard.
Yeah. You told me to take 5-3 because the graphic was typed in wrong, which happens all the time. I'm not crapping on you for
Oh,
writing
yeah.
the wrong number, and that happens all the time. How often do I start talking with my mic muted? Nobody in the world is perfect,
Yeah.
but I still, just because the graphic was wrong doesn't mean I had to change what came out of my mouth. So it is my fault completely, even though I was persuaded. It's kind of a mix of both. My text message was right on the prediction of the final score last week. They ended up not getting that sixth goal that was on the screen, so it really doesn't matter. But tonight's a news story.
Yeah, and by the way, let's see. Anthony LaPena said it is her birthday, so happy birthday. He also said happy birthday to you, Vinnie, which is next week at American Whiskey. December 9th, Vinnie Parise is going to go down there. I'm going to hand Vinnie Parise a headset because I know a lot of fans like to see your pretty face with like what I got right now, the headset. Since who knows, maybe the Let's Go Devils podcast will have a swimsuit calendar coming out very soon. I'm sure that will sell like hotcakes, right?
Yeah, everyone would love to see Shorts guy in a swimsuit, maybe a little Nick Villano action.
Yeah.
Me, obviously, for the month of December, I would want to be on, give everyone a nice little year end. But yeah, next Friday against the New York Islanders, come down to American Whiskey. I would love to meet as many listeners as possible. That just sounds so much fun. I literally cannot wait. I'm in Wisconsin for 2 more days. I'm actually going to see Luke Hughes tomorrow play for Michigan at Wisconsin. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing our guy in a Michigan uniform one time before he comes to the New Jersey Devils at the end of the year. So yeah, next Friday, come say hello. I'm very, very excited for it.
Wow. All right. Okay. All right. Now I'm just I'm looking at some of the predictions in the YouTube live. But we should get to our betstamp.app predictions. Betstamp.app. It is the Travago of sports betting, which Vinnie and I have amassed a fortune throughout the season because it's not hard so far if you're a New Jersey Devils fan, with the exception of the first 2 games of the season, betting on your team. And bet wisely. And if you have a gambling problem, get some help. It's not worth it. Anyway. All right, Vinny. What are your picks?
If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLING. Betstamp.app found me looking at the New Jersey Devils to win again. They're heavy favorites, so you could try to parlay it with something else. When I think of the Devils playing against the Nashville Predators, I actually think this is a good matchup for someone like Nico Hischier. I think he probably scores a goal tonight. So if you want to parlay Hischier scoring with the Devils winning to kind of increase your odds a little bit, go for it. But I got the Devils at -190. I found it on the DraftKings Sportsbook via the BetStamp app, and I have them winning the game by a final score of 4-2. I wanted to have the Devils score more goals, but I went with 4 because scoring 3 on Saros and having the 3-2 plus the empty netter, that kind of seems more likely. I do think UC Saros is one of the top 5 goalies. When every goalie in the league is playing at their best, I think Sorokin and Blackwood, or not Blackwood, I wish Blackwood, Sorokin, Shesterkin, and Vasilevsky, I think those are the top 3 goalies in the league when everyone is playing at their very best. Saros is right below them. He's very good. If the Devils can beat them tonight, they should be proud. I think they will beat him tonight, but I didn't go higher than that because of that. I do think they come out with the 4-2 victory, though.
Did you just call him Shesterkin?
Igor Shesterkin.
Yeah. That's okay because that's what I'm going to call him now. Shesterkin.
I don't know why I said it like that.
It sounds like
I know his name.
He sounds like a fool when you say his name, Shesterkin. Yeah, okay.
I don't know why. I mean, I study
Igor
the NHL
Shesterkin.
so closely.
Shesterkin.
I study the NHL so closely. I write about every team for Puck Pro. I just said it wrong. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah, Igor Shesterkin. Anyway, I'm just teasing. All right, so here are my picks. So originally it was 4-3 Devils. But since it's Tori's birthday today, also taking the DraftKings -190, because it's Tori's 5th year on Earth, 5 years old, I'm taking a 5-0 victory over the Nashville Predators. 5-0 victory. because it's Tori's birthday today. And, this is how you make more Devils fans, folks. You got to, coddle them a little bit, when they're younger. You got to get them all encouraged, and then that's all they think. Oh, my goodness, all these Devils fans, they just think that I am the greatest, and I like them too. I'm going to be a Devils fan, Dad. And that's what we're trying to do. Real simple.
Absolutely. That was a great little girl imitation you did right there. I hope Tori has the best birthday ever. It's the best month of the year. You got Christmas, you got our birthdays, you got all the holidays that people celebrate around the world. The Devils are in first place. It's a wonderful time to be enjoying December right now.
Oh, absolutely. And it's going to be a holly jolly time at American Whiskey. They're still there, pre-gaming. There's Aaron, the bartender. Aaron, hello, Aaron. He doesn't know. He's focused. You see, that's customer service right there. Right there.
That's how you win. That's how you win 19 out of 23 games right there.
Yeah.
That's how you
right
just
there.
Focus and determination. Yep.
And Dave Singer said Aaron is a great barn builder. Yes, he is. If you ever meet Aaron in person, he is probably the nicest person you'll ever meet. That's my testimonial right there. All right, Vinny. It's time to get out of here. Devils, Predators. Enjoy the game tonight, folks. Just remember, Devils After Dark, after the game. You know it. Scotty, Sirius XM, Liquid Metal, and I will recap the game that was. Yeah, we're definitely going to do that. We're going to have a little fun, get your rapid reactions as well. Again, thank you all those listening. Dropping the podcast in about 20 minutes for your enjoyment, but enjoy the game. Vinny, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me as always. I love doing this show, and I love the Devils. Hopefully they get a big win over the Nashville Predators.
Absolutely. Well, enjoy the booze at American Whiskey. Remember to tip your bartenders. The gravy train is coming. Till next time, let's go Devils.